Soundscape USA, first of all, we're talking about an enormous country, you know, the size of Europe with that many people. So to say like that there's any singular soundscape would be absurd.
The U.S. has always had a populist element to all the creative arts. So I think there might be an emphasis on reaching a wide popular audience in American new music. But then again, because of that, there's a reaction against it too.
There's a really kind of DIY, do-it-yourself attitude. There's a lot of people kind of breaking off from maybe the standardized software programs and creating new things, or in terms of hardware, maybe sort of taking apart equipment and sort of making new machines out of that.
It's a soup, you know, or a melting pot, tossed salad, whatever you want to call it, right?
Music since 1950, basically, there's been a dramatic and constant introduction of new sounds into concert music, into rock and roll, into jazz, into all music, basically. And these new sounds, a lot of them have come from electronics.
You were either an acoustic composer and you wrote for instruments, or you were, you know, one of the electronic music composers and you did exclusively electronics, or you did electronics with instruments. Nowadays, a lot of people are pretty comfortable going between those domains. So wedding composers are a really good example of that. I don't really think of them as electronic music composers or electroacoustic composers. I just think of them as composers.
New York City tends to bring out an intensity, not just in the sonic intensity, but I think the level that the musicians bring to the music and the drive that the musicians bring to the music.
Maybe there's sort of more activity, or things are a little bit more complex moment to moment, more dynamic, things are shifting and moving ahead.
Anyone who has experienced New York City knows these sounds. Lights, subways, very busy, loud sounds.
What is going on the West Coast is an idea of a kind of different sort of spaciousness, and the idea of sort of drone music.
Kalifornien steht ja im Ruf, etwas relaxter zu sein, wegen der Sonne und dem Strand und so.
Using electronics to kind of lengthen things, or maybe provide a bed of sound for other things that are going on.
Ist wahrscheinlich unterschiedlich von dem, was sonst präsentiert wird, weil die kaum figurative Oberfläche hat, sondern eher fast manchmal statisch erscheinen mag. Dadurch kann man aber das, was passiert, es wird kostbarer und das kann man als Geschenk hören. Man kann sich plötzlich freuen über den einzelnen Ton. Ich bin eher ein Ohrenmensch als ein Augenmensch. Ich höre gerne. Ich laufe eher mit den Ohren durch die Welt und übersetze mir das manchmal auch in elektronische Klänge. Es gibt ja unheimlich viele Klänge, auch elektronische Klänge um uns herum, die ich dann versuche zu verfolgen. Und dann interessiert mich, wie werden solche Klänge entstehen. Und dann vielleicht habe ich eine Idee, damit was zu veranstalten.
Listening to tiny sounds and making them large, or making an enormous texture of a bunch of sounds. So just things that you can do easily with electronics that are just part of normal music making in a special way.
People come to music through recorded experience now, and less of the live experience, which has pluses and minuses, I think. I think of live performance as a sort of triumphant ritual that stands above, maybe everyday listening to recordings and so on. And, so even if you listen to a piece on a recording a lot, and then finally hearing it live is this moment of maximum intensity.
Contemporary music, of new music that is so attractive and keeps it so vibrant, is the risk-taking and the adventuresome nature of like, okay, let's keep on pushing forward, let's try new approaches to presenting music, new approaches to sound, new approaches to using a space, to instrumentation, to form, to pitch language, to express something essential about what it means to be alive in 2014, for instance, and that's ideally that's what Beethoven was doing in 1810, and when people first heard several of his later string quartets, they didn't know what to make of them.
Und wenn man da so ein Bewusstsein herstellen kann für sowas, es gibt was zu hören, es gibt was zu entdecken, dann ist schon viel gewonnen.